Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to test the new Kooks headers for the C8 Corvette. We're going to find out how much power is gained from the headers alone, and then in upcoming videos we're going to find out how much power is gained from the combination of the Kooks headers and the Ultra Green cats, and then also how much the Ultra Green cats gain by themselves. So we're going to quantify it, and we're going to tell you if any of these are worthless. Like if the headers are worthless, we'll let you know. So let's find out right now. Okay, so first up, guys, we got our part in here. This is just the headers, the 1 7/8 inch header, the 1 7/8 inch headers, and we're gonna just open it up and make sure everything's there, because you never want to start a project without knowing that everything's there. And we got some paper. Some more paper. Still some more. Oh, wait, this paper feels heavy. Oh, there they are. With a... Uh-oh. Oh, man. That's nice looking. Dang. That's nice looking. We're looking at it the wrong way because it goes the opposite way. It goes this way. But yeah, let's get the other one out. All right. So there you have it. We got the two headers. I don't know what's in the box. Don't really care. We probably have what we need. And let's start ripping these guys off. We'll start by taking off the engine appearance package panels and also wrapping the car so we don't get it all messed up. So before we begin this job, one of the big things that I want to tell you guys is that you will need an O2 sensor socket tool before starting this thing. Otherwise, you're going to get to a point and you're not going to be able to get the factory wideband out. You're going to be kicking yourself. Okay, so we're going to use a T40 to pull off the engine appearance package. You just have 2 bolts on each side and then a little lever thingamajigger, little sliver of something that you got to pull out carefully. I'll show you. So these guys come right out. I'll put that right there. And then this has a little nubby that you just got to make sure that you get out properly, or else you're going to break it. Next, you're going to want to take apart the support beam that's here. That way you have access to pull things out, also using a T40. The evap line on this side is actually pretty easy to work with. You just kind of squeeze these in and pull, and they'll come right out. But I need 2 hands for it, so I got to put the camera down. You'll see this is what they look like. They just kind of feed right in there. And I'd recommend you do that before taking this support beam off. You only have to do it for the one side. But if you do have mag ride, you will also have a connection on the bottom. On one of them, it looks like we broke that connection, but the other one is still in, so be careful about that. Okay, now that we got some clearance, you can see how you might have broke that thing. Don't be surprised if you do the same thing. We're going to take off the heat shielding. It's held on by 10mm bolts. There's only a couple of them. You don't have to take like the rivets out or anything like that. Just, you know, you'll figure it out. It's not bad. We're getting into the meat and potatoes of it. Still lots of heat shielding on the C8. Hopefully that the Kooks aren't going to give us issue, but we're taking one shield off at a time, and eventually we'll get the headers off. They all have 10mm bolts in it. So basically, whenever you find a 10mm bolt, remove it. So the biggest fun that you are going to have with the heat shielding is the lower heat shield. It looks like there's just 2, but if you start your car up like I did to rev it for you guys before doing the work, you're going to find out that it is still very hot after a little bit of time just sitting there. But yep, you're going to use a ratchet wrench to reach underneath there and start getting those out. And then what we're going to work on is taking the spark plug wires off, and then the header itself. So after you get the bottom one off, just let it drop to the ground, or as far as it's going to go, and then pull the spark plug wires off. You might have to do a little bit of a Gumby movement to get them off, but You only need to pull them off of the engine. That way you can get access to the bolts. Before you take the header off, you're going to want to get the O2 sensor out. Now, one of the things you are going to notice, if I haven't told you this earlier, is a wrench doesn't exactly fit in here to take it out. You need a special O2 sensor removal tool. That way it's the socket tool. That way you can get over it and just twist it out. So this is the tool that you will have to use. It's a 7/8 inch or 22 millimeter kind of like long or deep socket that's just kind of like hollowed out. That way it goes over the wire and can pull it out. Okay, so we got the O2 sensors out. You can see that the heat shielding stays with it. Okay, for the next part, you're going to want an electric ratchet because it's going to be a pain in the ass. It's already a pain in the ass, but this is it. We're going in. We're going to pull the header off by the 13s that are connected. There should be 5 of them. Let's take a look. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to take those off now. Okay, so now that you've climbed in the trunk to get the header bolts out, you can get to the bolts to the catalytic converter now. That's your final step before you pull it out. Be careful when you're pulling it out so you don't like hit the car or anything like that. But yeah, just take those next 3 bolts off and pull her out and see the differences. You can use your 15 millimeter wrench and pull her out. I'm gonna use the gun. The gun's easy. Okay, so pull her out. All right, let's see what it looks like next to the other one. Check that difference out. So you can see that the Kooks header actually is a longer tube header. That's something I did not really expect. I thought it was just going to be a bigger diameter pipe, but yeah, it's clearly a longish tube, maybe a mid-length header. But yeah, I don't know that we're going to see a lot of gain off of this, but I guess that's why we're doing this test. Okay, they're all off, and what we can see is that the Kooks headers are significantly different. Obviously, the header flange is in the same location, and the exhaust manifold, the flange here, is in the same location as well. So it's like, but the header itself is definitely significantly different versus the factory ones. Like, significantly different. You can see that there's just a lot more room there. So if there is going to be a gain, I could see it now. So one thing that I am a little disappointed about with the Kooks headers here is that the collector itself is 2.5. Like it's definitely at 2.5 inches versus the factory, which is, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's 2 7/8. Looks like. What does it say on the box?
1 7/8 by 3.
3. Where's the 3?
I imagine the 3 is just the end of this before they neck it down.
Yeah, that doesn't really count.
It doesn't count.
That's a little bit of bullshit. Now, Kooks' package here includes regular LT gaskets by Kinetic and some bolts, all of which we're not going to use because the factory stuff is pretty good, and the factory stuff has a heat shielding integrated into the manifold gasket, and I'd rather use that than, since we're giving up so much heat shielding anyway. So the passenger side went in really well. The driver's side is having issues. It's very tight. I think the flange is slightly off, but it looks like Johnny was able to get it. And yeah, so you might have some trouble with that one. Okay, we're ready for first start. I think. I hope. I didn't miss anything. We put everything back. We put the evap line back. We did not put any of the heat shielding back because it doesn't go back. And So we put the stabilization bars. The only thing that we didn't put back that should go back are the covers, the carbon fiber covers, the appearance package covers. I don't know how much heat's going to get generated from this, so I don't want to ruin those just yet. Sounds the same. Maybe a little louder.
Got that dingy header sound.
Yeah. Look at all the oil burning off. I hope that's just oil. Maybe it'll be louder with when I rev it and stuff. I mean, this is quiet mode too.
Quiet mode.
I think.
It should be. Okay, it might be louder then.
Yeah, this is definitely quiet mode.
You gotta start it up loud mode, that's where you can tell the difference. Loud mode.
Little. You let it warm up. Jeez.
Smells like fireworks.
Definitely got more rasp to it.
It's a little tone change. Not as like they made it exotic sounding like initially.
Yeah.
They kind of got rid of that exotic tone. It's more.
Definitely more V8, more bass.
It does sound different.
Yeah, it's louder to some degree.
Honestly, I think these things factory exhaust with cat delete in the headers would probably be a pretty good compromise there.
Yeah.
And a tip change.
Yes. Yes. We all like new tips. God.
That's what she said.
So honestly, we can't really hear the differences between these two. Like, sounds the same. At least at idle and the exhaust open. And give yours a rev.
What the hell?
That's a lot louder.
Yeah, that's definitely loud.
God damn it. It just means I have to buy something.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. Okay, we found the difference, guys. Watch it be louder, but like make 5 horsepower less than it did.
You can see the power. If it doesn't
Yeah.
gain
Yeah,
at least 5, I'm not spending the money, but
Yeah.
I was surprised how much louder that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be able to hear it standing up there, but...
It sounds more like a D8 now instead of this is kind of hollow sounding.
Mhm.
Although I don't mind this.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a road test too.
Do you think we're ever going to get our real plates? No.
I mean,
Where's the
yours
Chevy dude?
expires before mine.
Yeah, mine
That's
expires.
just how many days we got them apart, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's 11 days. 11 days.
Wait, that says the 30th. That says the 9th.
19th. Doesn't it?
Oh, huh. The one just looked like a line to me. Oh, it was 9.
I'm like, Eric, I thought you were good with math.
30 minus 19.
We are driving it for the first time before we get it on the dyno, and I'm going to tell you right now, I can hear the difference. It's louder for sure. I can definitely hear the exhaust more. It's noticeably louder. I'm going to see if I can get on it a little bit. Sounds badass. It's weird because unless you're comparing it next to another Corvette, sound bad, so that's good. One thing that I can hear a little bit more is 4-cylinder mode. I can definitely hear 4-cylinder mode activate more. It's more on the I'm getting on it slightly, but it's still in 4-cylinder mode, that area, but it's more noticeable for sure. Okay, so we are about to find out. We have guesses. Some people are guessing that it's going to make only 5 horsepower more. Some people are saying 12. Eric says 12. I'm saying it might lose horsepower just because of that that tighter collector, but we'll see. We're gonna find out now. So it looks like we've lost power, which is what I was expecting from the collector. Womp womp. So that sucks. 443, 7 horsepower loss. That's really bad. That's really bad. What the hell? I was thinking, we lost horsepower. Holy shit. So one of the things that I'm seeing is 450 to 446. 446 is the Kooks number, and I'm seeing a power loss. The highlighted blue line is the Kooks number. I'm seeing a power loss throughout the whole power band. The conditions were almost the same. If you check out the actual temperature, it's almost 75 degrees today with 55% humidity, and previously it was 72, almost 73 degrees with a little more humidity. So kind of crazy that we're seeing a power loss here, but I kind of expected it given that collector. So I am pretty disappointed with those numbers. That's something that I kind of expected but didn't actually really expect. I know I said that it was probably going to lose power. It was kind of like a little bit of a joke, but then it got real, and that really sucks. So gonna rip these headers back off, see if I can return them as a defective item or something like that, because I wouldn't recommend them to any of my customers at this point, not until they fix what's probably the collector issue. I think that tighter collector is the reason. Everything else looks really good. The fitment's really good. I think it's just a collector, but at this point, it is not worth installing on your car, and I'm very disappointed. But we will test the cats. We're going to test the cats in a future video whenever we get them. I think that the cats are showing a promising gain. Just the headers themselves are not showing crap, so forget that. Now, the header box did say that it is for factory connection, which I'm curious if there is another header in the works that is a different connection to like a Kooks setup, something that I was thinking of making for our own cars, but yeah, like a super long tube. So maybe that's something else that we'll look into in the future. But right now, don't do it, guys.